Yo, what's going on? I was finally came back. Um I had some Burger King through Uber Eats, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Um I'm gonna tell you right now, them big ass burgers from Burger King in cases, I'm telling you, it'll fill you up pretty quick. I got like two fries and two chicken fries. You know, like the chicken fries, you get one and you get one for free. So that's what I got. And that's what took me so long. I couldn't even finish the second burger. I just took it and I didn't throw the whole thing away. I ate as much as I could. Telling you, hamburgers will fill you up pretty quick. You guys let me know if you can hear me. And the only reason I got this is so that I'm not talking so loud. And this guy's room is so nasty, man. He got flies and everything in his room. So shout out to Jacob, my roommate, for letting me use his room for a live stream because I did not have any energy to go anywhere today. So I decided to do something different. I think talking about the crazy landlord has reached its limit for the time being. So if you guys got any questions, concerns of everything I talked about on this channel so far, feel free to ask. Now, here's the thing. No stupid questions because you will get stupid answers. And as I stated in the last live stream yesterday, this is not a gospel channel. This is not a Christianity channel. So do not come in here spamming my chat saying, "Do you know that Jesus loves you?" Because everybody in the world knows that. People are not coming on YouTube because they want to know as to whether or not if Jesus loves them or not. People don't come on YouTube to understand Bible scriptures. They come to YouTube to search for different things, problems, and solutions to their situation. They don't come here searching for Christianity answers. They come here searching for answers with their situation. They don't come on YouTube searching for wondering as to whether or not if God loves them or not. They didn't come on YouTube to wonder what scriptures they can learn. Of course, there's YouTube channels for that, but this is not a gospel channel. This is not a Christianity channel. This is not a Bible bashing channel. This is a channel where people can come here to look for real life solutions and problems to their situation. All right, hello there, user DN1. Thank you for thank you for the love and the like. Hello there, Vira. Thank you for tuning in. And hello for the rest of you viewers that are watching from the clouds. Thank you guys for um, tuning in. Well, we got one. Oh well, I won't be on the stream for too long, but just thought I'd do to get something in the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, so if you're a Christian, I mean, I'm a believer as well, but I'm not getting on here to talk about God. I'm getting on here to talk about situations in real life that's happening to people right now. People that need closure, people that need help, people that are searching for answers to their situations, people who they can see or find that resonates to what they're going through. And most of all, a lot of people love drama, and that's fine too, because this is the right YouTube channel for it. Rather if it's drama from my experiences, drama from society, or anything else I talk about on this channel. So the only thing I'm asking, ask decent questions. If you don't have a question to ask, don't ask it. Because like I said, if you get a stupid answer, stupid question, you're gonna get a stupid answer. Now, no question is a dumb answer. But if you're asking goofy questions, you'll get a stupid answer and you'll also be booted from the chat. Now, a lot of you kept talking about super chats and, you know, cash apps and all of this stuff. Here's the thing, I'm not here to ask for money. I'm here to resonate with people who are going through things in their life, rather if it's family, relationships, jobs, or just dealing with society. Now, what I do have the link down below, and it has Cash App and also my merch store for this channel, as well as this channel. The link is there if you want to show your support, rather if you want to buy a t-shirt. I just made a new one yesterday, or you want to do something else. The support links are there. However, just understand that I'm not here to ask for money. I'm not here to ask for you to hit the Cash App. I don't want your money. I don't want your Cash App. But if you still insist on wanting to show your support, the links are there. And also, a lot of people claim that they sent me support. But if I don't get notified from Cash App that I get the support, that means I didn't get it. So always check in to make sure um, that you are sending it to the right person. Another thing, and this has happened commonly on this channel. Do not come here trying on my intelligence. Do not come in here spamming the chat. All I ask is respect one another in the chat room. Hello there, Moaz. Welcome to the chat. The best country to live in with better is Vietnam or Thailand. Those are the best countries to live with better wages and better living standards, with real natural foods that is not containted, contaminated, and messed up. A place where air is not polluted, and you're not spending an arm and a leg to get back and forth to where you need to be. In Vietnam, you live like a king. Now, if you like something more different, Africa, Tanzania is also a good place. Or you can go to Egypt. I heard that's decent over there. I'm more big on Asian countries myself. So I say the best place is Vietnam because Vietnam is pretty much a lower percent cheaper than Thailand and the Philippines. Now, Philippines is still affordable to live there, but Vietnam is way cheaper. Anyway, my reason for starting this channel is I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, and a lot of people are having all these situations and problems. And instead of a lot of content creators that are explaining things the way it is, being truthful about it, they add too many disclaimers. They always want to try to add too much of trying to make it sweetening and make it positive. When you're telling the truth about something, it's not going to always come out as a positive light or in a positive way. I got tired of it. So that's when I created this channel to be 100% with my audience, to interact with my audience, and to show audience that there are people that are literally going through things right now and that you're not the only one. I decided to create this channel to meet people where they're at. Just about anything except for marriage because I've never been married before. And that's a good thing because I don't want to deal with all that craziness. But moreover, um, let me move this over. But moreover, I know enough to know that the situation does stings. And as well as sharing my experiences with the audience, I talk about other things too: society, family, relationships, everything. And I go on rants because this is a rant and solution and review channel. No more disclaimers. No more people trying to make things sound positive while at the same time things are negative. And sometimes you can't be positive all the time. Sometimes you have to be negative. And that's what I'm here for. That is what this channel is for. I talk about just about everything on this channel because right now, a lot of people are looking for entertainment on YouTube, but there's certain kinds of entertainment. And the only thing they're looking at is the bombing that's going on with Iran right now. Everything is still skyrocketing. And gas prices and groceries has been as high as it's ever been in the history of this country. What catches my eye though is when you talk shit about this country But you have the naysayers that are defending this country. Ex-military and police officers get butthurt, acting like a child, acting like this baby man without a pacifier, throwing hissy fits because people don't like America, or people choose to be anti-America, or people just can't stand this country. Well, guess what? For those of you that think that way, I don't blame you. And the statements that you get from people is, well, if you don't like it here so much, why don't you go somewhere else? What's stopping you? It ain't a matter of going somewhere else. It's just a matter of people being aware that this country is a piece of shit. And this country is ran by billionaires that are in control of everything. Jobs are so hard to find these days, to the where jobs are now being stricter on who they want to hire. And for those who actually want to get a job, it's hard for them to get a job because so many people leave, they quit. But then you also got jobs that are laying off thousands and thousands and millions of people. And I just now found out it's getting to the point for those of you that are gamers like me. This headset that I'm wearing is a gaming headset. And the only reason I'm using it for this because I don't want to raise my voice because let's just say the walls have ears and I'm trying to keep things to where it's not being caught onto those ears, if you get what I'm saying. Now, um, as for YouTube, this is what they're looking for. And also, what everybody else is talking about now, for those of you that are gamers, Sony and Nintendo are fixing it to where you're no longer going to own the games that you buy. And they changed the licensing on it, especially for Sony, for those of you and Sony fans and Sony PlayStation players out there. My suggestion to all of that is go to Steam. Steam is pretty much your safe zone at this point when it comes to gaming. Just about every game that you have or a game that is released comes on Steam, except for Nintendo games, of course. Mm. And speaking of the best country to live in, America, a lot of foreigners come to America, to the United States of America. Back 40 years ago, in the 1980s, 1930s, America used to be simple back then, partially in the Great Depression period, but it was a great place to be in. As those times has passed by, now we are here in the era of 2026 in the 21st century. And right now, America is no longer a place that you can call home anymore. It is a place where you're working just to pay bills. It's a money-making country, and it's one big corporation that is starting wars with other countries and then lying to their own people and telling them that everything is okay, that business is booming. When they think that most of these Americans, which I'm hoping not, I think some of them are smart enough to know what's going on, but some Americans probably don't. And a lot of times people don't read. They just go off of what the naysayers are saying. So I'm going to tell you this. President Donald Trump is bombing Iran right now, and yet saying that they're going to strike a deal with them, but you're still bombing the country. And eventually, one of the countries is going to rise up one day and end up bombing this country. And that's going to change the lifestyle of America forever. So, for those of you that have the means to do so, I suggest leaving America. They have visas where you can work from home, digital nomad, or whatever they call it. You can extend it, then move to another country. Stay as long as you can. List goes on. Because right now, we're living in some times right now where, sorry about that. Eyes running. So we're living into some times right now where get out of America before it's too late. Because if you don't, it's gonna get to the point where you're not gonna leave this country at all, period. You know, TSA workers are quitting because they're not getting paid, from what I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing that because of the bombing that's going on with Iran, it's gonna be difficult for a lot of flight attendants to go across that area, especially with all the bombings and stuff going on. There's just too much going on. So I don't know. It is I can imagine that it's getting worse. And this is why I tell you guys, if you got the means, get out and don't ever come back. If you got a side business, side gig, you're making money from it, do it. Because a lot of people from other countries are doing the same thing. They're not they're not trying to be here to stay. They're starting up a business and they're just only staying to make more and as much money as they can make. Once they do that, and stuff happens, they'll have enough to leave and they'll have just enough to live on. And that's what I'm going to be doing. And my goal is to continue to work on this channel. And now I have been some days without going live because I had my situations going on with the crazy landlord and other situations. If you like to know what happened, I just released a new video. It's an audio explaining and showing you what's going on. I also did a live stream talking about it yesterday. So, and I made sure that a lot of viewers can watch it on a replay. So if you want to watch it on a replay, that's great. Go ahead and watch it. Enjoy. There was a roommate in the background as well. So he didn't want to be on camera. So, you know. Anyway, do what you can to make some money and do what you can so you can get out of here. If you have friends that stay in other countries that you've known for a while, that actually helps a lot. Wouldn't you rather be in a place where you're appreciated, you're treated like a human being, than to be in a country where you're considered property, a slave to a corporation job, stress to have more money, or not having the money for something? And I know that a lot of people understand that. So I'm going to rehash over some of the situations that happened yesterday. Well, this week. So I was heading off to work, and the crazy landlord basically been harassing me with text messages back to back to back. It was very excruciating, exhausting, ridiculous. And it has gotten to the point where she's not to be trusted anymore. And there is a chance that she might end up retaliating. That's just the kind of person she is. So she yells down the stairs and she says, "Hey, I need you to remove the furniture from the room. And it's the least thing you can do since you wrecked my room," which I did not do. And I'm just thinking, I have to go to work. It's already two. It's already almost 2 o'clock, right? And when I came there to try to tell her that, she basically told me to still go and remove the furniture from the room, even when I told her I have to go to work. I cannot be late. Plus, I was walking 1.3 miles back and forth every day. Exercise is great, but every day. So then during the conversation, she starts to talk to me in a disrespectful tone. I don't like being talked to in a disrespectful tone. And I yelled at her, telling her not to call me a bitch and not to talk to me in a disrespectful manner. Now, mind you, this lady is 64 years old and she acts like a child. She don't even act like she's 64 years old, to be honest with you. At least that's what I was told by other roommates. So then she starts rambling on and she starts talking about how she likes me and she tells other people that. And I'm just like, and I'm just shaking my head like, you ain't telling people this stuff. The majority of the conversations I overheard her here is mainly talking about everybody in the room, in the house. And she's just one miserable lady whose marriage didn't work out. So she takes her frustrations, trauma, and her problems, and she takes it out on tenants in this house. So, um, started talking, and I told her I had to go. Thankfully, a roommate was kind enough to give me a ride. She tried to threaten me with a 30-day notice just because a roommate offered me a ride. His name is Jacob. As time went on, none of us in this house are on the lease of this house. And I actually came to find out that the house is not even in her name either, nor did she even sign a lease. And if she did, her husband is the owner, owner of the apartments. So it's just been crazy. I barely got any sleep. I didn't even feel like going live today, to be honest with you. The landlord has exhausted me to no end. Going to work, coming back to work, coming back to the more drama and the more mess that she got cooked up. Fishing out information. So one day, she decided to extend it to the end of August. And the only reason she was doing that because she wants more rent money out of everybody, including myself. The landlord sent people to the room to get them out. So I'm sleeping on the couch, which is why I'm using someone else's room to go live. What led up to all of this? Well, after taking, and I said this over and over in my videos, after I took an 18-hour flight, I took an 18-hour flight to basically using coming to Alaska as a turning point to get my life together. I was homeless for 6 years in another state. Told my mother my situation. She paid for me to go places that more like she wanted me to go instead of where I needed to go. And the only thing I wanted to do was to get back on my feet again. But unfortunately, my mother didn't see it that way. What she saw was she wanted me to take me somewhere that she wanted me to go. When she used me for whatever purpose that she has fulfilled, I wanted to go somewhere else. My mother refused to let me do that. Of course, because she's the one that's paying, right? So I ended up coming here to the state of Alaska for a job that I applied for while overseas in another country. I was in Africa. And the crazy part about that is I didn't even get the job once I landed. So I ended up job hopping, only to realize that Alaska is both a tourist and a job with a state with less job opportunities than the state that I was in, which is then in Alabama State. So I ended up staying, I ended up working two jobs at the time. Was working for Walmart and a security job. And I ended up losing my job at Walmart because of my attendance. But it was mainly because my supervisor wasn't working with me because I didn't want to just depend on one source of income at that time. And the only thing that changed was working two jobs was really wearing me out. My uncle and his family, I was staying with my uncle, which is how I ended up here. But my uncle and his family, they all voted to get me kicked out on the streets. My uncle made some petty reasons as to why I got kicked out. I'm supposed to be an example to his children when that's his job to do that. I was eating all of the food in his house, even though I was buying my own food and my own stuff. They tried to control me and tell me what I can and what I can't eat. And from that point, he told me to have until July last year to get out of his house. And so um, I ended up panicking, trying to find somewhere to go. And I left my uncle's house in June the 4th last year. and moved in to the place you see here now. Been here almost a year. Now, hearing this story, if you guys got any questions or comments, type it in the chat below. Because this is a Q&A chat after all. But make sure these answers are respectable answers and not goofy answers. I mean, questions. So, in my head, I'm thinking, wow. So, I'm being kicked out on the streets in a whole different state. I don't know anybody here, no friends here, don't have any relatives other than my uncle, of course. And I'm just thinking, man, this guy is really throwing me out. To be honest, I don't see how people can sleep at night, but apparently they can, more than likely. So that is the backstory as to how I ended up in this situation. There is a website that I used called, it was just, it was a lot to take in. It was a lot. I'm thinking to myself, and everything else is just running through my head. Like, what am I going to do? What's going to benefit? How is this going to benefit me? What can I do? I have no money. I came here, but nothing but the clothes on my back. Came here for a fresh start, to be thrown out on the streets. So, since then, I've been here ever since. Now, I'm not saying I don't like the Alaska. It's nice here. Beautiful mountains, wildlife. The people, though, people are a whole other story. That's pretty much it with that. So, as I was staying here in Alaska I've been here for like a year now. And looking at my situation and seeing, just kind of reflecting back on everything I've been through up until this point, I thought maybe I should do a YouTube sharing my experiences with the audience. I mean, who knows? There could be people out there that, you know, may want to hear my experience to, I guess, that will benefit them in terms of some closure, knowing that they're not the only one that's going through something, to make sure that they are not crazy with the truth that they dug up for themselves. and the list goes on. Now, in the past, I did create a YouTube channel called My Life Story. I ended up getting rid of that channel because I did something that no other content creator should do. You should never tell people about your YouTube channel, not even your family. And you have to be careful when you're at work. And you also have to be careful because people that watch your content may not be interested in the content that you make. They may not even watch it all the way through. They might be, I don't know, 20, maybe 10 minutes in, and then they start watching it. Or 10 seconds in. And, well, I don't know what you need to do, brother. Maybe refresh your page. Try refreshing your page. All right. Thank you for the love, Junkie, Juki. So, well, I do have a Twitch account, but I only use it for gaming. And for the most part, I've been using TikTok. I've been going live on TikTok a lot, but I only do no commentary, nostalgia, gaming. I mean, not that I don't want to interact with audience, but you know, right now in my current situation, I'm not able to do that. So the best thing I can do is none commentary. I have a roommate, um, letting me use his room to go live with you guys. Oh, of course. Super Mario, that's my childhood game back in back in the 90s. The game is to be told that. Of course. Well, I never said I was moving to Vietnam. We had a person that came up here and he wanted to know what countries would be the best for suitable living and a decent lifestyle, basically. And I told him either Thailand or Vietnam. Thailand is cheaper, but Vietnam is very cheap. And you live like a king pretty much over there. I I might go one day to visit Vietnam. I don't really have any friends over there. Um, but one day I plan on visiting. I'm not sure when. Whenever my YouTube channel pops out and I'm start making the big bucks or whatever. I don't know. Whenever I'm back on my feet, financially, you know, I am looking into establishing myself somewhere. Maybe get a house built or something. You're like a king. You live like a king if you got. Yeah, that's true. Um, home cupcake. That is true. You might get one Asian. I'm guessing Asian lady from there. Yeah, it's a possibility. It is a possibility. There are some beautiful ladies over there from what I've seen and on the internet, but I have to make the money to be there first, which is why I want to be financially stable before I can leave. And hopefully YouTube and my merchandise stores and stuff can help me get there. So, but it's up to the viewers to make that happen. I'm just here being consistent. If you got European money, actually, I've been to Europe. I've been to the Netherlands. I went to Tanzania, Africa. I have not been to Asia yet, but that is my number one targeted region is Asia. Home cupcakes. Are you from Asia? Are you from Vietnam or Thailand, whatnot? It's more a retirement village for men. If you go to your, oh, are you saying that's for like, are you saying that for Asia or for both Asia and Europe? Yeah, there's a lot of retirees over there, especially in Thailand and the Philippines for the most part. Yeah, for the most part. But hey, if I get this channel monetized or if this channel takes off, hey, that's the first place I'm going. Other than that, I'm gonna still keep working, saving up money, and keep it going. I live under the ocean between south and north. 518689. Not sure what that is, but okay. Is do you stay in Asia? Cupcakes. Good luck on that, brother. Yeah, you got that right, Juki. Luck is pretty much all we're gonna need in this world. Yeah. So so I thought about it. So anyway, so I thought maybe I should do a YouTube channel sharing my experiences. But at the time, I wasn't really into YouTube like that until when I came up here to Alaska. And then that's where YouTube kind of took its turn. And so I just started, um, created this channel to talk about all the craziness going on in this world. And I came to learn that um, also the only person that actually really had my back was my grandmother. She's 80 years old and she passed away last year. She was the only person that actually made sure that that I was good to go. She gave me some money, whatever she had. She even cooked for me, washed my clothes, whenever I needed a place to sleep, if I was, had nowhere to go, she would take me in, make sure that I was well fed. She did a lot of things for me that, not saying my mother didn't do much, but the biggest thing my mother did is She brought me to a whole nother state that I'm not even from and trusted me with my uncle, knowing that my uncle doesn't like me at all, to have me out on the streets in a whole nother state with no money, nothing. I don't see how my uncle and his family can sleep at night. But what it also tells me is people that do things like that and they just sleep at night, they have no conscience at all, you know. And the thing I've learned and I'm starting to see now is people are not going to do anything for you unless if it's benefiting them. And that's the way the world works today. And my mother wasn't even much help either. All the thing I got was read a scripture, pray, as if I did those two things, that it would magically make my situation any better. It didn't. My mother was not able to help me since she got me into this mess in the first place. And it's just like every time when I talk to my mother, I always get a lecture. I get 50 million questions. And then she wondered why you didn't say anything. Reason I'm not, because every time I talk to her, I get 50 million questions. For those of you that got religious parents or religious mother or whatever, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You talk to them about stuff, and all you get is a lecture. You get Bible bashed, and you get told to get on your knees and pray, and you get told everything else other than the fact that, you know, being a blessing to somebody and helping them out. And nobody on my grandmother's family side told me that my grand wanted to tell me that my grandmother passed away. Everybody, my auntie, my father, everybody, they all just treated me like I didn't even exist in the family anymore. So at this point, I don't have family support. Never did. I was just being used for somebody else's purpose, for somebody else's benefit. And when that benefit was fulfilled, I was no use anymore. It was like I was being exiled in the streets. Um, so I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that are watching this live stream are going through, if not the exact thing, they're probably going through something similar. And as a man, um, when men go through their lowest point, there's no cavalry coming for that person. There's no help. There is no support. There is no sympathy. Yet, on the other hand, the females, they get a lot of sympathy. They don't have to deal with getting it out of the mud and trying to survive while on the streets. They don't. Um, so that's just like I said, that's just a little backstory about me and how I ended up here in Alaska. If you guys got any questions and anything like that, let me know. And if I don't know the answer to some of these questions, I will try to answer within the best of my ability. If I don't know, I'll just tell you, hey, I don't know. That's and that's pretty much it. I do notice that a lot of viewers are looking into content creation for YouTube, and they're all looking at YouTube videos for a magical button that they can push that will help them grow on YouTube. And I'm no expert, I'm no YouTube guru or nothing like that. But what I can tell you is if you want to grow on YouTube, just be consistent. Schedule your videos on whatever day that you want to schedule them to. That's what I do. Every upload, I schedule my videos. Now, what may works for me may not work for other YouTubers, you know. But also, you got to realize that the YouTube algorithm has changed. And with so much that's happening in society right now, people are looking for certain kinds of content, rather if it's, you know, like maybe political stuff or something else. But just know that what I can tell you as a content creator, YouTube, there are always people on YouTube searching for something, and it could be anything. They could be searching for anything. So, relationships. Now, we talked about families. If you are now, unless if you have a fortunate family and your family is very fortunate, that's great. Take advantage of that because there are a lot of people probably on YouTube and around the world that don't have families that can be a support system for them. So, we're moving on to relationships, and you guys already know how the story goes when it comes to relationships in America. You gotta have tons and tons of money for the ladies. because they want to drain your pockets on $500 to $5,000 shopping spree worth of stuff, which rather if it's Gucci, Tory Burch, Louis Vuitton, or some other high quality, expensive accessories, probably makeup. And but there's also a lot of people, especially women, that grew up in broken homes. And this is where, when you don't have parents to live as an example, the child watches the parents and they grow up acting the same way that their parents have. That's why you got a lot of school bullies, abusers, rapists, all kinds of troublemakers out there. But there are also good men. I can't really say so much about the women, but I do know that there's good men out there in America that really want a relationship. Now, I can't speak for other countries. I can only speak for America. And a lot of the 80% of men that are single and childless never had an opportunity are always the ones that get left out. They get told it's not your turn. They get told that one day the right one will come for you or find its way to you. As a man, you get told there's plenty of fish in the sea. You also get told the same rhetoric over and over and over that just keep trying. You have your whole life ahead of you. It won't be that long before the right person comes to you. Have you guys been told that in your lives? I know the feeling. And the thing is, 5 to 10 years later, everything that they told you, nothing happened. You get in a relationship after you just spent 3 to 5 years getting to know this person, only to have it go up in smoke to nowhere. You start meeting a lot of women, and majority of them put you in the friend zone because either they're for the streets or either because they're not serious about settling down with somebody. You can't even approach women anymore. You get called a rapist, a creep, a stalker, and the list goes on. You have other dudes out here that are trying to do what's right, only to be dealing with a woman that is making a good man to pay for the sins of what some other guy had did to them in the past. And a lot of women use their trauma as an excuse for their behavior. You see, they always get with the wrong guys. They have no discernment about anything. Because these women will can sense and they know, but these type of women allow themselves to go in blind, only to end up in situations where they got kids somewhere and they can't even take care of, and they end up with a bunch of abusive and really bad guys. But then when they finally find somebody or run into a couple of good men, they get put in the friend zone. They gotta follow them like some tag along friend while they go have their little fun and clubs and girls' night outs. And then they get on social media and they talk about where are the good men are gone. The good men they're talking about, it's not good men like you. They're talking about the good men that will pay their bills, buy them things, do everything for them. And there is a clip that I watched one day. It was a chick that decided to dress up to act like a dude because she wanted to understand what it's like being a man. We all know that that's never possible, but this particular individual, she was persistent. She got her hair cut like a boy's cut, wearing boy clothes, dealing with women. And it has gotten to the point where she couldn't handle it. It was too much. It even got so bad that, from what I've heard, she committed suicide. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I know you men out there, you really wanna get your mushroom tip wet and shout out to the Hodge twins. You really wanna go into them sweet walls and you just, you know, you're just ready to go. But unfortunately, for you good men out there, you're being treated like a job application. And if you don't fit, if what your resume, if it doesn't fit the criteria of what they're looking for, then guess what? You're not, uh, they turning you down because they moving on to another candidate that has what they're looking for. You see, with these women in America, it's all about money, height for some of them, good looks. He's got to be cute and all of this craziness. And the whole generation is pretty messed up. They don't even know the difference between dating and relationships. They think that they're all both the same. They get together and, you know, they go and have a freak show behind closed doors. Meanwhile, you, as a good man that's trying to do the right thing, you don't get nothing. You get used. You get told. You get take. You do this for her. You do that for her, and you get nothing out of it. All you get is the hey, I had fun. Yeah, I had fun too. Will I see you again? And the girl is like, eh, maybe. Maybe you'll see me again. But if that was not a so good dude, it was a whole different dude. Oh, she'll stop at nothing to see him every day. And I know some of y'all dudes. See, this is a channel where I keep it 100. I know some of you dudes are stroking your mushroom tip, watching corn all the time. Got the urge, probably using sex dolls. I'm not judging you, but I'm just letting you guys know I understand because then then you look around you and you think everybody around you. You ever just go walking one day and you look at all the people around you and you're just like, man, I wish I had a girl like that. I know you guys been through that before. Everybody, every man has. You looking around, man, I wish I had a girl like that. Man, if I was this person, I can get anything I want. Man, if I was doing this. However, it's unfortunate for you and fortunate for them. See, I'm here speaking for the men because I have a lot of guys that talk to me about this stuff all the time. It never ends. And the thing that's really sad is you have to go to another country just to find a decent woman. The only challenge is once you find that woman, you can't even bring her back to the States because she's going to get modernized and she's going to start acting like all of these other women in America. And it's sad that the generation that we're living in today is just it's far gone. It's plummeting down the deepest rabbit hole that you can ever find. The deepest rabbit hole ever. Now, of course, I can go all day about relationships. I can tell you some stories that'll blow your mind. I can tell you some stories, tell you stuff that, you know, yeah. I mean, the old America was the greatest. Things were civil back then. But this America today is no longer America anymore. This is just a country where you are considered property of the United States instead of a human being. You are considered a slave working for corporation jobs where you're living in a country. It's like everybody gets what they want and you can't get what you wanted. Instead, you have to go home, stroke your mushroom tip. And when I say the mushroom tip, I mean the wiggling in your pants. But I'm keeping it as the mushroom tip. You can't even tell girls if you ever had sex before. If you tell them you're a virgin or you never had sex before, they're gonna think you're gay, even though you're not gay. I'm not gay. I'm a heterosexual male. But you're gonna have people that think you're gay. Something's wrong with you because you're not out in the streets. You're not tapping every piece of cookie that ever walked on the face of the earth. So you can't even dare to ask because then they're gonna think if you ain't never had sex before, they just automatically gonna write you off as a 1 minute man because you ain't never did it. And a lot of women, they're not gonna deal with men out there that never did it before. They want the ones that are experienced, leaving you out in the cold with blue balls and everything else. I know what you guys going through. You even ask. Some of you guys even beg. You bring them flowers. You do everything for this woman. And it's just a feeling of you're great, but you're not somebody that I'm looking for. Because once again, because once again, I'm gonna tell you, good men out there, the best solution to all of this situation, if you got the means to do it, if you really want family, if you really want somebody, going overseas is the best way to get it. Because the women overseas, they don't care if you have experience in the bedroom or not. They don't care if you're a virgin. They don't care if you're overweight, if you got a dad bod. They don't care about none of that. What they care about is family, building together. They don't care about how much money you got. They don't care. I mean, they want to know, what kind of work you do. But the difference between them asking them that overseas and then the women here in America, in the United States of America, that are asking that, it's like, I want to know what kind of job are you doing? Because I want to know, are you going to be able to finance the lifestyle that I want versus the women overseas are asking because they want to get to know about you, your character, your talents, and the person that you are. They don't care about your money because women overseas, they work and they make their own money. They don't need your money. What they need and what they want from you, they want family. And that's not something that good men are going to get. in America. Now, I'm not talking about the good men, the type of good men that women are classifying as good men that every other woman wants to get with, or because every other woman is trying to get, or because they see one female with that particular guy, it becomes a trending thing for all women in America to get with that same dude. I see it all the time, especially since living here in Alaska. I'm talking about the good men that always get put in the friend zone, the ones that are actually doing the right thing, that really want relationships, but they're always in the friend zone. They're always getting told one day they'll find somebody, or there's plenty of fish in the sea. They get told to go use a dating app. They get told to go get in the gym and work out. They get told to do all of these things when really it's just things that different women are just interested in. They're just not really interested in you if you're doing it. So you're basically in America, you're just given a runaround. And all the beautiful women you sit and you gaze up on them in America, and you're just like, man, I wonder what it'd be like to be with that woman. You can't even talk to them because they're going to be weird. They got to automatically know who you are before you even have a privilege to even talk to them. And I'm not talking about supermodels or anything else. There are women that have kids. I know a roommate right now. He tried to get with this other chick. She got about, I think, 3 kids or something. Even a woman with kids will turn you down. At least that's what this young lady, this other roommate did. She turned him down. He was a good man. Didn't mind if she had kids or not. And see, those are the men that a lot of women are throwing in the trash. And they're going after guys that don't really, they're not even really in sync on what they want. It's really sad. And unfortunately, the kids, the parents are not an example to their kids. They're not teaching them how to be ladylike, most of them. Walking around dressed up like dudes. Then you got men dressed up like females, turning gay. It's always something. And it's really harder for the good men out there that actually want to build something. They wouldn't mind getting with a woman to have kids. They wouldn't mind trying to build something with that woman. But the thing is, those men, women ignore. So, what's the best solution to that? Well, I did say that I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to be religious on you guys, but I'm bringing this to prove a point. In the book of Genesis, Abraham told his son to go to another land to find a woman, a mate, because the land that we're in, the women are corrupt. They're too far gone. They don't care about the value of family. All they care about is money and what they can get out of you. And that's what Abraham's son did. So we are living in those times right now. And my point is, America is not the place for relationships, making babies anymore. This whole scam of the American dream. America is a corporation where you are their property and slave. And as a job, as a slave and property, with all of these messed up education systems in America, even the healthcare is messed up. As soon as people get out of high school, they get enslaved to themselves, to a job, end up in 48 to $52,000 in student loan debt. With the degree that every student has worked hard for and can get no job for that. Instead, they're working at McDonald's or Wendy's or they're working at Walmart instead of working in a career that they worked so hard in school for. Hello there, Fisher King. And the thing is that that brings me to my next point. Aside from the dating scene, there's very few good women left, and there's a lot of the corrupt ones. Let me go back and read some of these comments. Wow, this man has spammed a lot of comments. Cupcakes, woman shelter. We have few options, sir. America's nice place if you win at Vegas. This guy is just joking around. Let's be honest. It's the biggest and the best slot machine in the world. Yeah, Las Vegas do have some really good slot machines. American built only. We love old America. Yeah, old America was better. Old America is better. Americans, a trillion in government debt. Maybe you will understand how a company works of bankrupt loans called finance. 1 trillion in debt is considered a wealthy country. Yeah, that's sad. America's still great to be honest. New Jersey source of pop. America rules like your NBA jerseys and hats. Uh, I don't go through your problems to be honest. I bypass every day. I had sat down with myself one day and said, there's no point in trying. Well, let's see. You have been more mature at 15, sir, and bypassed their reality. Are you a comedian or just an insult friendly, kind man? Unfortunately, I haven't had those problems. So this man is spamming. What's your point in your argument? Well, my point in the argument, cupcakes, is is me just saying that I'm just sitting here resonating with men that are struggling, resonating with men, meeting them where they're at, and just talking about these things, ranting and, you know, letting them know that, hey, you're not the only one that's going through it. That's my point. My point is good men should be get at least some chance. Good men should also be able to get chances when it comes to dating and relationships in America. But the thing is that good, nice guys always finish last. That is the point. I mean, regardless of what state is terrible, regardless of what is going on, it doesn't really matter if one state is more terrible than the other. The fact of the matter is, the divorce rate is higher than any other country in the European region. And cupcakes, you may not have any of these problems. You may be good as a whim, but I'm speaking on the behalf of other individuals that are also going through these types of situations. And there are guys out there. What's going on, Louis King? What's up, Fisher King? Ah, you're using two accounts? You guys all got the same names. But well, here's the see, the thing is you have a speech, which means you have a survival problem in your own society and rely on higher vocabulary to compete. Well, I don't rely on anything, cupcakes. I'm just here shooting the shit and I'm just meeting guys where they're at. And like I said, if you don't have any of these problems, good for you. But there are other guys that are going through things too. There are other guys, rather if it's dating, relationships, rather if it's family, jobs, or just society and the cost of living going up. Everybody's talking about it. And there is somebody that's watching from the clouds that can understand that, hey, I know this guy is telling the truth. Man, he's really saying something, so I'm not the only one. You just never know, cupcakes. And I'm assuming you're a dude, because I don't know why you would. I don't know. I'm not even going to say it, but anyway. So, as I was saying, the dating scene is really messed up. The apps, the dating apps, barely work or at all. And a lot of men got tired and they checked out. So, to men out there that are listening, And to those who are going through a lot with these struggles that I've already mentioned, you know, you need to, the best solution, I would say, go to another country. There are countries that will pay you just to start, have a fresh start, jobs, everything. You might have to refresh your page. There's nothing wrong with my mic. I think you guys can hear me better. How's that? Hey Sand. Make sure you refresh your. This is about as high as I can go. Make sure you refresh your screen, and you can hear me better. You should. And thank you for joining the live stream. Hate Sand. Appreciate the likes. If you have any questions, comments, or any questions, feel free to ask or feel free to speak. This is a Q&A live stream. I figured you all might have some questions. So, but I might be leaving out of this stream very soon. It is cold in this room and ready to go get warm. I got a heater back there, so I might crank that one up. But yeah, there's not a lot of good women to go around. And a lot of good men that are out there are constantly getting rejected and they're just being put in the friend zone. You know, having them thinking that at some point they're going to get a chance when they're really never ever going to get that chance. And I know some of you guys have been through that before. The dating scene sucks in America because the women are corrupt and the way the system is in America is not even set up for you to succeed. It's set up for you to fail. Which brings me to my next point. So, and I'm pretty sure y'all heard this on other YouTube channels. Perhaps, maybe not. But I think I'm speaking to somebody that's watching in the clouds. I don't know who I'm saying this to, but there's somebody that needed to hear this. It feels right and it feels like somebody needed to hear this. So, gas prices are going up and groceries are going up to where now, well, gas prices going up, groceries is going up. Even fast food restaurants prices are going up. Getting your car service, maintenance, front end alignment, getting your tires rotated, oil change, all of that stuff is going up in price. Mortgages, property taxes, even if you pay off the house, you have to pay the interest and the property taxes. Even that's going up. People who are using credit cards, that is also going up. And now we have employment jobs that everything is going, it's like they are cutting hours every chance they get, making it difficult to get your bills paid, making it difficult for you to have any money left over for food and water. And I know that some of you are struggling, doing everything you can to stay afloat. I know I'm sure am. And everything is going so high up in price to where you have to, they're doing massive discounted sales. And that includes Walmart, Fred Meyer's, Publix, Winn Dixie, and the list goes on. And everyone is trying to do what they can to survive throughout the day. Jobs are now getting more harder to get than there has ever been. So many people are getting laid off on their jobs. You literally are living in a country where the system is broken. Trying to get health insurance, that's even expensive. And um sorry about that. I had to wipe my eyes out a little bit. And now it's getting to the point where everybody's mortgages is going up. At this point, you can't even afford to live anymore. You're being priced out of a country that you have been born and raised in all of your lives. So, knowing all of this and just knowing you have, and it's harder on the guy side because you don't have any support system that can help. Families are throwing their kids out on the streets. And it's gotten really bad to the point where families are now starting to exile their kids on the streets with nothing. And at this point, you're just wondering, like, how are they supposed to expect you to survive in a crazy society like this? Nothing makes any sense. Now, there's always going to be, the grass is always going to be greener on the other side. And this is what I preached every day. And I myself, I'm working on this as well. I do suggest you guys to, you know, get out of America. This country was never meant for people to live in peace. It's always wars going on. America's bombing other countries. It's ridiculous. It has gotten so bad that there are laws that are being passed that homeless people are not allowed to sleep in their cars in public parking. They are also not allowed to fix their own cars that they are themselves are financing for. They have to go to a body shop to fix their cars. They're putting stuff in your food, in the air. Everything in this country is messed up. But hey, what I can tell you guys is go to a place. All I can tell you guys is this: if you have the means, get out of America. America is no longer the country that it used to be 40 years ago. The dating scene is trash. The women are still going to be in the streets choosing the wrong dudes. And then they're going to put good men like you in the friend zone, giving you all this wishful thinking of one day this will happen, one day that'll happen, and it never happens. And by that time, you're already over it. You're already focused on something else. You're in a country where no one cares about you. The government doesn't care about you. Your president, that most of these Americans have fought tooth and nail, they don't care about you. When there's talks about making America great again, they're not talking about the people. They're talking about their own version of making America great again, which in this situation, America is just getting worse again. And it's never going to get any better. It's going to get worse. And it's going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. And then, you have the naysayers. They'll still try to defend this country, even though they know themselves that everything in the system is messed up. Why don't you just leave if you don't like America? Why are you still here? When you gonna get on the plane? They always say stuff like that, not even realizing that they're living in a country that does not care. America does not care if you defend for it or not. You can tell people and ask them when are they getting on the plane? When are they doing this? When are you going to realize that your country doesn't care about you? When are people are going to learn to start reading and start paying attention to what goes on around them instead of sitting here being the devil's advocate? I don't even know if I'm using that word right, but if so, if not, I apologize. Well, I'm about to head out. For all you good men out there, pick up a skill, start a YouTube channel, do something to make some money online, save up as much as you can, leave America. You're not going to find a good woman in the United States of America anymore. All of these good women that you're hoping to find, they're gone. And if you do run into one of them, they're either taken, they're married to a military guy, they're either a widow with 3 kids, or for the most part, if you do meet one and her kids are all grown up, there's never gonna it may not be no connection there. You might just be excited, but then feeling like I don't think she really likes me. Maybe she, maybe I'm not her type. That happens to all good men. That even happens to me. I have those thoughts running through my head all of the time. But the grass is greener on the other side. Now, I'm booking my flight going to the Philippines, and that'll be August the 20th. Once I'm there, I will be doing live streams, YouTube shorts. I'll probably do a long form video. More than likely, I'll probably do a live stream. But the only solution, good women that you thought that was going to be in America, they don't exist anymore. You just got a bunch of corrupt women that are putting good dudes in the friend zone while they go and do whatever they want to do. Instead of just them being honest with you and being like, you're a really cool guy, but I'm not interested. I mean, you'll be disappointed either way, but at least you can be disappointed in knowing, okay, at least she was upfront with me. American women and modern women in America are not going to be like that. I don't care if they're from the woods. I don't care if they farm girls. I don't care what they are. If they are in America, they are corrupted or they're taken by somebody else. There's not enough good women in this country to go around. And sometimes you have to relocate to find something else. And who knows? You may like the women there, whichever country you go to, a lot better than you do in America. You never know. But going overseas, and you ain't got to go to stay there. You can just go visit. That's your best bet. I mean, sure, you can use dating apps and stuff like that, but it'd be better if you go see the person in person. Well, uh, and you'll realize once you leave the US to another country, you're not going to ever want to come back. But due to visa laws, you have to, unfortunately. The only downside to that is if you bring your lady from another country to America, she will get corrupted. She will get modernized. I've seen it happen every day, time and time again. Time and time again. So I'll say this again. Save up as much money as you can. Maybe start social media, start a YouTube channel. Do what I'm doing, talk about your experience. Or you can, you know, if you're a good gamer, hey, you can do that. Or whatever that you're good at. Try to build something. Because right now we're living in times where the job market is starting to get scarce. And it's harder to get most jobs nowadays. And at this point, you might as well just you might as well just basically uh, follow your dreams at this point. This is Chaos. I'm your host. Thank you guys for watching. I guess nobody had any Q&As other than a few that I had. Maybe I'll do another live stream another time. Until then, you guys be easy, and I'll see you guys next time.